Buddy, it's John here again, and today I decided I should finally delve into the new McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. So I picked up Azrael, and I picked up Devastator because he just looks freaking awesome, or Batman Earth -1. This boy's heavy and huge. He's pretty awesome looking, and Azrael just, I don't know, maybe I should have started looking at these a little while ago, but they look really fabulous. They got this big open window so I can see what's going on. They're all in the same standard box. They got 22 points of articulation from McFarlane Toys. On the back, you get a cool little piece of artwork that I believe is on the card that they come with. And that's about really it. And it shows a few other figures that you can pick up. And not a whole lot else to them. I mean, they're easy to display if you like to keep them in their packages. Me, I don't understand why you would buy articulated items made out of plastic if you weren't going to articulate them. So I'm going to open them up. Give me a moment and I'll be back. Alright, here are these two big chunky bad boys out of their packages. Let's see, we got Batman Earth 1 Dark Knight's Metal. Here you get a little description on the back of the figure. This is the Devastator, and it has a little blurb about where he comes from. It's pretty neat. I'm going to pick up the trade paperback to the Metal series pretty soon, just because it seems like a very interesting little storyline. But the Devastator is a pretty cool looking figure. And then also we got one for Azrael, which it gives you a little blurb about him as well with the card. And it's kind of nice, it tells you what comic book it also came from. And then they each come with a couple of the DC figure stands, if they need them. So I think I'll start with the big guy. We got Devastator here. It's wickedly sculpted. He does have one thing that I want to talk about that I don't like. One thing that really cheap bootleggers do is when they have the item in the package, they'll paint what you can see. So then when you take it out of the package, the other side isn't painted. And it's what they did with this figure. Do you think a company like McFarlane would be a little bit better than that? Like, he's got this dark color on him. It looks like a wash. Makes him look kind of dirty and grimy. And it goes to the halfway point, and then they just stopped. And there's none of that paint on the back, or on the back of the legs, or on his heels. So they pulled that cheap trick of only painting the front, because that's all you'll see in the package. Even that, like, you can just see where they just stopped. So that's probably an easy fix if you want. You can just, a little bit of do a dry wash to fill in the sculpt, but that's kind of, I don't know, leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth that they're doing cheap bootleg tactics on their. I mean, it's only a $20 figure, which I guess you gotta give it to Farland for giving you this much, but still, it's, I don't know, it seems cheap to me. But, see if we can get in. Look at that ugly mug. Lots of detail, lots of little pieces of, like, stone. It's got his cool articulated mouth, and his tongue you can move around in there. It's got his blazing red eyes, sharp little ears. It's got the rock formations on him. This little weird Batman logo on his chest, his tattered up pants, and then a continuation of the rocky pieces of him, which I think is pretty cool. He's your Doomsday Batman. It doesn't get much more menacing than that. And like I said, the paint just kind of just stops at one point. But he does have the articulated head, which you can do things like, that if you want. And it's got a little wiggle not a lot, but the jaw is cool, gives him a little bit more expression. And the fact that you can get in there and move his tongue around is kind of neat. He's got such a tiny head for that body. He's got some weird, looks like butterfly joints that don't move a whole lot. And then his shoulders in there. It is hinged, so you can get a little bit of movement, and it does go all the way around. And he has a, see Azrael, rotation at his elbow, and a single joint there, which gets some movement. Not a whole lot on this one right now. He probably needs to be warmed up. You guys are messing up my, oh, them dang toesy woses. Stop. He's got rotation in his wrist, and a super tight hinge. There it goes. That takes some doing. Oh. Stiff joints on this guy. He's got the diaphragm cut, so he can. He looks pretty cool with his turning there. He gets a little bit of. Gets a little bit of back, a little bit of forward. He's got a rotation at his waist as well. His legs go out. He's got a rotation at the thigh. No real forward. He gets a little bit of back. You can get it out a little bit. Oh man. Those knees. So he's got a hinge at his knee. Wow. And a rotation there. Got some strong detents in his feet, which is thankful to keep him standing up. They got a little bit of a rocker, and he even has the toe hinge. Wow. And he's got some beautifully rendered gnarly toesies. And he stands really well. I mean, overall, for the price point, he's a pretty cool figure. Like his posability, even though it's stiff. You can get him looking pretty menacing. Yeah, he's a pretty cool looking guy. So if they just would have finished the paint job on him, he would have been better. And Azrael here, he's magnificent looking. I'm really surprised by the amount of detail that they got on this guy. The gold, and see, he's got a nice little bit of a reddish overpaint on top of the gold. The face is really good. The gold carries through all right. The sculpting work is fabulous. He's got the religious items. He's got his little knife. The gold on his gauntlets is really nice. The two-tone reds is great. His little weird shoulder feathers flop around pretty good. Some more gold on his belt. He's got some nice weathering here. Looks like he's wearing bright red tights, like he could be, like he stole Robin's tights. The only thing aesthetically I don't like is how they just kind of cut off right here into the boot where the joint is. It just looks weird to me. It looks like the figure was done here and then they just stuck some random shoes on him. It's kind of strange. But other than that, he's pretty fantastic looking. And he's got a little bit different articulation, not a whole lot different, but you do get a lot of movement in the head. It's below down here in the neck. Probably keep his little hood from going all over the place, but it does a pretty good job. His arms are a lot easier to move than Devastator's. And they do have that butterfly joint in there. Don't get a whole lot of movement, but it's cool to have. He gets them up and down with the shoulder as well. Rotation at the bicep. Single jointed elbow. Excuse me. Throat gets so dry nowadays. He's got, looks like the detents in his elbow that you can see. Rotation at his wrist and a hinge. No? Yes? Looks like there is. I could be wrong. It could just be really stiff. And he has the diaphragm piece, which gives him a little bit of crunch. He gets a lot of back with the two pieces. It's kind of cool. And he's got a waist. which will move there. I really like the gauntlet. The gauntlets have some nice paintwork on them. Whoa, he gets some way out on his legs. A little bit of upper thigh rotation. He can go forward. He can go back pretty good with the way that that's designed. He's got a double jointed knee. That top joint is stiff. Oh, it's... What about the other one? I want to break him. Sometimes these guys need a little warming up. Oh, there we go. Whoa. As old Fushi would say. Bing! He can kick himself in the small of the back. That's pretty intense. It's one heck of a bend. No rotation at his knee. He's got rotation at his ankle. It's hinged. And he's got that weird toe boot cut there. So, let's see if we can get him standing again after I mangled him all up. That knee's really tight. I'm going to have to work on that. He just has quite the presence to him with that color scheme. Really nice choice. I know a lot of people are tired of, so far, McFarlane turning this into the Batman line. But of all the figures that I've been seeing, I really can't blame them because a lot of them are pretty neat. Like, whoever thought you'd ever see these guys already so early in the line's run or in its lifetime, that you would get the metal figures above all the other classic figures that you always get. No Aquaman or anything like that yet, but you do got Devastator, which I think is pretty cool. And he comes with this sword, which has some nice detail to it, and this really cool flame effect. Oh, we got our crucifixion scene. There's even a little Jesus-esque figure on there. Oof, boy, those fingers are tight. Let's see if we can slide this in there. Oh, his fingernails are sharp. But it's in. So he can hold aloft his mighty sword and... Oh wait, that's the wrong guy. But now that his ankles seem a little weak. But he's standing. There we go. I'm not going to touch him anymore. Yeah, I like both of these guys. I'm going to have to look into more of McFarlane's figures. The Devastator's awesome. He's fun to play with. The Azrael just has that beautiful aesthetic to him. Don't want another toy line to try to track down. Man, look at the big chunky toenails on him. Jeez. But, hey, if I see him, I'll grab him, I guess. They're pretty cool. They do above and beyond, and he's just cranking these things out. I'm really looking for those Robins, though. The 3 vampire-esque looking Robins. I will grab every one of them that I see. Multi-heads or not, just because they're so dang creepy looking. Hopefully those will be easy to find. Some of these guys are pretty tough, especially the Walmart exclusive metal ones. I think I've seen all of them, except for, I can't remember, Murder Machine. I think it's the one I haven't seen yet. But we'll see. Maybe next time I go out, I'm going to do a round. I'll see if I run into anything. Anyway, I'm curious how you guys think about the McFarlane line. I know they're 7-inch scale, so they put off a lot of 6-inch scale collectors, but like visually they're great. Oh, my battery's about to die. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. And again, let me know what you think of these down at the bottom in the comment section. And thank you for continuing to subscribe and watch, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hi, I just want to say thank you one more time for checking out this video. And if you're interested in seeing any more, you can click either one of the links that will be over here. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, there will be a button down below. Do that as well. And again, thank you.